Okay. All right, I got 5:30. Let's call the meeting to order. Begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Steve Herron.
Here.
Carol Bellhop. Here. Jay Jones.
Here.
Lexi Murphy. Here. Jean Unruh.
Here. All right, perfect attendance. That means we have a quorum. Attendance of guests. Look at all of you handsome folks out there today. If you would like to sign in on our guest book, we'd appreciate it. So make sure we spell your name correctly. And we've got Glenda. Anyone else I'm missing? And obviously our newest and youngest little guest there.
Can you make an X?
Can you make it up?
That'll do.
Fingerprint. Okay, so now we are ready to open opportunity to address the council.
I just have two things. One, the speed limit sign, Nate, maybe you can answer this. Is there a reason why it's not working?
I was gonna actually, when I got the chance to talk to her, whoever you talk to at DOT, have them come look at it. All I know is the system is working, it's just not putting it up on the display for some reason.
Darn.
So,
And also, it's been brought to my attention through my therapy ladies mostly, that the alarm, when it went off for the tornado sirens, it did not reach the southern and the western part of the town. They did not have any warning. Is there a reason? Do we need to replace our warning system that when the siren goes off, that it's heard more? I know even south of Maple, there was 2 or 3 people down there that said they did not hear the sirens go off that night either.
Were they outside or not? Because that's just an outdoor warning system. That's not an in-your-house warning system.
No, they were not outside because that's when,
That's just for outside.
let's put it bluntly, that's when all hell was going on, when it went off. I did hear it and I was in the house, but I'm fairly close to it.
and the other thing to be considered would be, there's a strong wind out of the southwest, it's actually gotta fight that wind
Yeah.
to try to get further, so.
Okay, but I didn't know, maybe it might be a thought that sometime down the road, we might end up having to replace the warning system so it does reach more people, because a lot of the elderly do live down in that area, so. But I'm a typical Iowan person, when sirens go off, I gotta go outside and see what's going on.
Yep.
But
I'm with you.
that's being from Iowa.
Oh, I think that's just natural. You want to see where the tornado is.
Right, that's all I have.
Okay, is anyone else here for your 5 minutes? You're here for an agenda item? Okay, approve the agenda. We are to item 6.
I'd like to make a motion on this, if I could, and then if it gets a second, I'd like to speak to it, please. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda by removing line 7 and lines 9 through 14 and move these things to action items to the next meeting date of August 21st.
What are your reasons? Why are we doing that?
If I get a second,
Yeah, you will, okay.
All right, Steve, you made the motion to amend the agenda to remove items 9 through,
line 7
line 7
and then lines 9 through 14.
and 9 through 14. Okay, and removing it to the next meeting,
To the next meeting date of
21st.
August 21st.
Okay,
I'll second that.
and Lexi seconded. Okay, now we've had the motion and the second. Can we have discussion?
I think this meeting, most important thing we have to do here is the contract for the fire department, and I think that deserves our full attention. And also there's some of the amendments to the ordinances, I have some concerns and some questions about that, and I had time to get clarification on any of those. And I would like to have more time for that. And if I have concerns and questions about those items, I think that other residents may have some questions also and would like more clarification. So I think the more time that we give these readings, the better for our community. Be able to ask the questions we need to ask.
And I guess I thought we were just having this, not a regular meeting, because I had it set for August 21st as a regular meeting like it's supposed to. This is a special meeting for the fire department. That's what we talked about at the last meeting. And no one ever called or texted me asking if I wanted to have a regular meeting tonight. So we just assumed.
That's how it was shaped. Because we didn't, go ahead.
Go ahead.
When we realized we could not make the urgent special meeting happen within days of the last meeting due to several concerns, signing the contract, having our attorney present, all of that, that is when we pushed it back, and the schedule was to allow Ryan to attend, which was, this date was chosen. And also, Monday the 21st, it's fine if you'd like to meet again, but the agenda needs to be set in about a day, and unless we just put these things on there, you're not gonna have a whole lot. And it's also open house for all of our schools, all of our community members. So any of these individuals who would like to go support their children or their teachers or whoever, that is also, so it's not just about who can attend for us, but is who can attend for the community. And if you are choosing the exact, and it's the exact time when we meet is when open house is. So I thought it made sense, since we're only a few days ahead of that, to just, you're all here, you're all ready to do work. We've already done these items, they're not brand new.
No, but I was gonna
So
call
it made
Michelle and
sense
ask
to
some
have
questions
them.
to be added onto it, and I couldn't do that since we got this one day or Tuesday when we got
For
it.
the net,
To put on the agenda.
to add content for the next agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, very
So-
good. You done?
So I have a question then. The meeting could be set without council consent, because in the ordinance,
Tell me reasons.
let's see, it's chapter 3, article 9, paragraph 9.05. It says, "The regular meetings of the council shall be held on the first and third Mondays of each month. The council may also change the date and time for compelling reasons." I understand the open house at the school is important, but the council meetings are just as important, and I don't believe that moving the time for our council meeting to a different day is a compelling reason because of the open house at the school. Not saying that the school's open house is not important, because that is very important. But majority of the members here on the council can attend just about any council meeting. And that, for me, and I'm sure for Jean and Carol, that open house, maybe Jay, the open house doesn't have any bearing on my schedule anyway to be able to get to the council meeting.
And again, council meetings aren't just for council members and ourselves and our staff to attend, it is also for the public to attend. So taking into account the fact that that will take out a large portion of our public who may be interested in watching or attending. I thought, plus it's a matter of days away. If it were the early meeting that we had last week, if she were in town, everything happened faster, it would make more sense. But you want to have another meeting in 4 days, that's fine, I guess.
No, I don't agree with that. I think
You're already
we as
here.
a council need to support our community, need to support our schools, whether we have kids there or not.
I agree.
Or we
had our-
employer.
When we had our little safety meeting with the fire department that Thursday, or was it Thursday? Then we talked about it, and when Ryan said he would not be able to make it and stuff, and we said, then why have another meeting, have this one for a few minutes, and then go again on Monday? Let's just do it all and get it done. And so, we kind of agreed that,
So my
That was
question
good.
is then, when did the council change the date and time? Because that's what it says in the ordinance.
Well, I texted you all to ask if you were available for the meeting first of all, and once I got confirmation on that, then we had the discussion that it would work best not to do part of it for next Monday.
But you just texted us if we were available at 5:30 on Wednesday. You
Because
never
I have
said
to
if
get
it was
everybody's
a special.
response first.
What, you never said if it was a
I didn't
special
know that.
meeting or a regular meeting. So we figured it was a special meeting.
That's a good guess. I didn't know we were changing it necessarily until it dawned on me that why are we meeting again on the same night when there's open house and it's 4 days after another meeting? Like I said, it just doesn't, I thought I was trying to save you, but if you want your extra meeting dollars or whatever the incentive is, I don't.
There is
That's
no
not-
incentive, it's just a matter of
It's just a
keeping the
meeting.
same order and the same meetings that we should have. Now, I received the text from Brenda, and it said, Tish had gone out of the country until Tuesday. It's not wise to agree to sign a contract. But I now have a copy of it and will share it with each of you soon. I think it's better to schedule the meeting for next Thursday at the soonest. And then the next text I received, would you be able to attend the council meeting next Wednesday at the 16th at 5:30?
That was after
And
meeting.
so that text about signing the contract gave me the impression that that's what we were doing next Wednesday, the 16th at 5:30. That was a special meeting. And I replied, yes.
Right. And then Monday.
I
you
didn't
got the
realize
packet.
it was gonna be a full council meeting. So the council can do what they want.
Monday when you knew it though, that was, you had
That's
for
what I
2
received
days.
per text.
Right. So,
But when did we get our agendas?
didn't
We got
ask.
those Mondays, so then you've seen it was a regular.
I talked to her Monday morning already. That was happening. And then
But on
you
Monday, we got our,
You
I
got
got
one.
that council, my agenda, so I knew then it was set up. And you probably got yours the same day. So, I guess when I seen it, I thought, great. Then we have a break until September.
And then Monday I had conversation with Michelle about having a full meeting, and then that's why I brought it up here. So council may vote however they like.
Okay, has everyone had the opportunity to add their discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor of Steve's amended agenda? Steve supported and Steve made the motion and Lexi supported it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed to say nay?
Nay.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for confirmation to make sure I heard ayes for Steve and Lexi, correct?
Correct.
Nays, Jean, were you nay?
Nay.
You were a nay? All right, motion fails. For support. Okay, do we have a motion to support the current agenda as it exists?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for Wednesday of the 16th, 2023.
I will second it.
Jean's made the motion, Carol seconded. Do we have further discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the agenda for tonight as presented in front of you, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Okay, and again, identify yourself for nays, Lexi and Steve, correct? Okay, motion carries. Agenda adopted. Number 7. Minutes are attached. Oral packets. Do we have revisions requested?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for 8/7/23 regular meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Carol, and a second by Jean to approve the minutes from the 8/7/23 regular meeting. Do we have any other discussion?
I would like to know why my name is not in the city council member Murphy, and why didn't you mention you yourself when Melinda also talked about you as well?
couldn't change that. Where are you at?
It says, Member Hanson shared that,
Her frustration
Yep.
that the city's elected officials, that is me and every one of us.
but you said City Council Member Murphy.
She was upset with you about the road width parking.
I know, but she
concerns.
also said
And then her
some stuff with you.
frustration that the city's elected officials do not have a code of conduct in place. That applies to all of us.
But she mentioned both of our names.
She did.
And so why was Lexi singled out and your name wasn't in there? That's what she's asking.
Okay. Well, Lexi had the topic of why it was, which related to that parking concerns. And that's what led her to speak to me directly, which led to the further conversation that she brought before the council. Would you like to strike your name from the list, from this, with a council member regarding road width parking concerns? It was, it's already,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's right that you just single, I mean, yeah.
with a council member, so I would,
Oh, I mean, at
Would
this
you
point,
like
it's
to
a little too late because I'm
No,
sure
we
it was
have-
published.
we have,
Yeah.
we have a motion.
Yeah,
and a
so-
second. So it's
Well, it's on
prior.
the web,
Yeah,
It's
so
already live.
You can have it taken out.
Yeah,
Well,
these will
she
be
could,
the
but-
official minutes that we record here for our purposes, correct?
Yes, take it out of there, but it's all been, everybody's seen
So
it.
you can have it taken out.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to take it out, please.
Okay, we currently have a motion on the floor, so we need to either have Carol, would you like to amend your motion, or would you like to drop it, to rescind your motion? Withdraw your motion.
I can add that to my motion, that will take the council member Murphy name out of there,
Okay,
out of the minutes. I'm fine with that.
I will second that.
okay.
I'm fine.
So the existing motion and second by Carol and Jean are to approve the minutes now with the correction to remove, so it would be shared her dissatisfaction with a council member regarding road width changes. Any other revisions?
No, but I have some questions. So I called City Hall, requested the handwritten minutes that Alex wrote, and I received those. And then along with that, I received the typed minutes that Alex typed from her handwritten notes and probably recording and from memory. Then I also received the minutes that went to publish. And they're all different, and I can understand the difference between Alex's handwritten notes and her typed notes, but I don't understand why there's a difference between her typed notes and the ones that went to publish. There's some drastic changes, and there's some, in some of the minutes here that we have, there's commentary on it, and where Alex's minutes were just the motions that were approved or unapproved. But then the minutes that go to publish have extra comments on them, and I don't understand why that's happening and who's doing that.
Did you reply to them when he requested? Did you talk to Alex about it? At all? That was her first draft of minutes.
Yeah,
She
so,
told you that, right?
so the draft that goes to publish, did Alex do those then also?
And she
Okay.
was back, and then we worked on that.
You and Michelle worked on that.
Not this one, no, but normally that's how we've done it. But no, I have to get them done by Friday morning. She
So
was
you
back.
did these? So you did the ones that went to publish?
Yes, from what Alex gave, she started it, and then it passes. This is the same with Whitney, with Scott, with Michelle. It's the same process every time.
So it's not the clerk's responsibility, it's the mayor's responsibility to do the minutes?
My name's also on there.
Yeah, I know, they
So
sign,
it's a
you
joint-
approve it.
It's a joint situation.
But it's the mayor's responsibility to write the minutes or the clerk's?
It's either whoever handles it and gets it to, it's clerk's responsibility to publish the minutes.
So why is
It
it
could be your job to
different
write the
from?
minutes.
So my question is, why is it different from what Alex wrote to what you wrote?
Was that Alex's final draft? Did you ask her that?
I
She
assume
said
it was,
No, it was not.
because
She's not here to answer for herself. But you could have asked her earlier. I asked her this week if that's what she felt was her final draft.
And so this one that went to publish is her final draft or your final draft?
It's our final draft.
And when you say our, the council's or?
You are seeing it here. This is how it comes to. I see that. Okay.
So what you're
A
saying?
2.5-hour meeting for someone who is doing the minutes for the first time is a bit overwhelming. So as you'll see, if you would compare her first draft with what is published, there were several instances where not only is it elaborated on, but it's elaborated on for the sake of legal reasons and/or edited to make corrections. Not everybody catches everything the first time. Sometimes you gotta go back and watch the whole 2.5-hour meeting to see if you've made a mistake. Sometimes we confirm with people, say, did you vote for that or did you second that? Because again, we're unclear, our notes. Do you want all my, you didn't ask for my handwritten copies, they want about 6 pages. These are how you put it together. This is how we have our notes.
I have handwritten
And
notes
there's
too, but
this, too.
they're not the official minutes of the meeting. So that's the question I'm asking.
That is how it gets generated. They don't just, we don't OCR or optical, record the audio of the meeting and have it transcribed into
I understand
minutes.
that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand why there's 3 sets of minutes.
There's not, handwritten minutes are not, notes are never minutes. Would you like my previous drafts of past minutes as well? When I make drafts, would you like to see, you probably can find Whitney's previous drafts or Scott's previous drafts. They're all multiple drafts to get to the minutes that you see.
I'm asking about these. This is what we're,
Yes, and
this
she's
is
not
the
here to answer
conversation
you,
we're
so
having
did
is
you
about
ask her?
these minutes.
And what did she tell you when you asked
I
her?
did not have a chance to ask Alex. I did not. So that's why I'm asking, because I didn't have a chance to ask her. That's why I'm asking for clarification.
Did you
So
second
I
that,
will
Val?
visit with Alex. I will visit with Alex this week and get
That would be
clarification.
wonderful.
With your minutes or notes that you take at the meeting, they don't reflect everything that's said at the meeting. You can elaborate those in ones that you type up.
When
And
you
go
watch
over them
the
and over
meeting,
them and
when you-
over them.
So I'll give you an example. So here's an example of the minutes that Alex wrote. Motion by Murphy, seconded by Honkamp to approve street closure request per the Paullina Chamber of Commerce. All ayes, motion carried. The closures will be Mickley to Main on Broadway and Main Street south of Groesbeck. That was an action item. We took action on that. That's the minutes Alex wrote. The minutes here that you wrote, Brenda, says Nicole Jacobs shared Chamber of Commerce plans for October events, including the Fall Festival with Trunk or Treat, a Monster Dash, 5K from the city park to the lake. Motion by Murphy, seconded by Honkamp to approve resolution requesting street closure from Broadway to Main and so on. So I guess my thought is really the only thing, the action that we took was the street closure. We did not have to take action on the, and it's not a big deal. We didn't have to take action on the Fall Festival, the Trunk or Treat, the Monster Dash, any of that. And I understand, gives the community a better idea of what's happening and so on. So that's my question, why things like that are happening. Just like, and it was the same with Melinda Hanson when she had the opportunity to address the council. Alex had it in her minutes that Melinda Hanson made negative comments about members of the council, along with comments about road with concern, saying that there's no need for adjustment to adjust the parking one side, and there are sufficient alternatives for emergency vehicles and other vehicles to get through. It didn't specifically name anybody or name point blame at anybody, but then the minutes here point blame at somebody. So that's very discouraging when we do that as a council, and that really shouldn't be happening.
Amen. Again, these are, yeah.
That's all I have. That's really all I have.
Did that mention the code of conduct part? Because I thought that was a big part of what she spoke about, and that wasn't included in her version of summarizing Melinda's 5 minutes of, which we actually don't have to include. So if you would rather, going forward, all open opportunity to the council can just be left out of minutes. They are not required legally at all. We actually, I found out today, don't even have to offer that opportunity to speak, which I still think is worthy to do, but you do not have to include it in your minutes.
You don't have to include it in there, but this is the transparency that Steve's always talking about.
It does become part of our
Yeah,
record.
so this week, I guess I
I
think
mean,
we
they're already
want this
video.
out here. That would be a little more, I mean, when I
I
did
guess.
this for places I work, I handed it to whoever was there. If they were at that meeting and said, look them over, you see anything I should add or do? I
And all the
mean,
time, there's things that are
Yes.
added and taken out and.
Right, and somebody sometimes writes it a little better or a little nicer or says, oh, I think you should add this. And
I mean, you don't have to go into detail, but transparency again.
yeah, we want to, I guess, the only thing I can see is like Lexi saying about her name, and we're removing it, but I know it's past tense, so it isn't going to do us any good. I don't know if there's anything, Tish, that you should never name anybody like that. Can you speak to that?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was a no-no or not.
I mean, I wasn't here for the conversation, so I don't know what was said, but if it was directed at everyone, I think that it applies, or if it was a general topic, I think it applies and shouldn't be singled out. If it was a specific complaint about someone, then potentially that should be referenced, but I don't have the full context to say more.
Any other examples to be shared? Okay, we are back to the motion by Carol and a second by Jean to approve the minutes from the 8/7/23 regular meeting with the removal of the name to state with dissatisfaction with a council member regarding road parking concerns. That is what I have on the table. Is everyone willing to vote on that topic? If so, all in favor of approving them as revised, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay.
Nay.
And that is just Steve is a nay, correct? Sir, would you confirm your you're a
Yes.
nay? And Lexi, you were an aye, or you did not vote?
I said aye.
You said aye, okay, just making sure I didn't hear. All right, motion carries. Okay, now the exciting part that I assume many of you are here for, approve the signing of the architect contract for the EMS building plans. Do we want to say anything more? We have Tish back. She's sort of been filled in a rush, and she's come back and brought up the speed of what Mike and
I guess yes, the contract is from 2021, but speaking to Mike, there's absolutely nothing that he would change right now. It still holds current as written. As far as I know, and Tisha correct me if I'm wrong, but this has already been presented to her and she's already asked for changes and they've already been done to this contract.
Yeah, I mean, this was a couple years ago, but Mike did come and present the contract. I did have email exchanges with him with some questions and revisions. I believe all those were incorporated and discussed with the council. I think everything was incorporated and presented to the council to finalize, and then they decided not to move forward. I had not, until I got bombarded with questions about where I had the contract and why I wasn't doing something with it, had no idea that there was any talk about moving forward with this contract. But yes, my understanding at that point was that it had been reviewed, everybody had asked questions, visited with Mike about it.
So this is the standing contract for that day.
The only thing we're changing is your name instead of
Yeah.
Fisher. That's correct.
We'll change the name and the date.
And their fee schedule.
Yeah.
To all those copies, I think they've been emailed to you, and Tisha should have the last version of that. We'll have to bring his signed copy down this week to have it signed. So is there any other issues, concerns that would cause us to not? Yes. Okay, we do have something.
I did receive a letter from Denny Workmeister, he cannot be here. And he said he believes in and understands the fire department's need for a new station. This issue has been ongoing since I was on council in the mid-teens. The need for a new station is apparent and needs to proceed in the right direction. Currently, the council is in the same spot as the council on which I served, wanting to move forward but not having the key component, land. Dollars were spent on a concept drawing, engineering, and the like with no viable outcome because there was no place to situate the station. I see the same thing happening today. How can a station be designed when there is no land to engineer it on? Taxpayer money and charitable dollars have been spent in the past to no avail. Being a taxpayer and a charitable donor, it compels me to say, let's get the land first, at least a purchase agreement, then a new station can be designed to a parcel of known land. Money was spent in the past with no results. Let's not make the same mistake again. Look at what is available, get an agreement on the parcel of land, and then proceed with engineering and the like. Nelda concurs. Please spend our tax dollars and charitable donations wisely.
So contrary to the letter, we have spent $0 on this
You never
project.
paid anything, did you?
We have not done anything.
Okay.
The whole reason we're at a standstill with Mike is the city did not want to sign the contract with him until we had property, which I absolutely 100% agree. I've never not agreed with that. But we have one piece of property, and I've talked with Carol and Jean both, that it is available to us and the city owns it. And that piece of property fits this building just like it is. And along with the building, when we started designing it, we went clear to the top. We went as big as possible because you talk to anybody around here, you talk to Orange City, you talk to Ferngard, you talk to Sutherland, they did not build their buildings very well. So we started right off the bat adding space for 3 more trucks, which I never imagined we will add 3 more trucks to our fleet. But that is already designed in. With that, along with that piece of property, one option we would lose, which is not a must-have, we would lose our drive-through capability. I am not going to make that the deal breaker of moving this forward. We've backed into building that building since 1972. So if you put big enough doors, it should solve the issue.
14-foot door.
Yes. So as of now, and if you want us to sign our life away on that piece of property, then I guess we're prepared to do it. So, I mean,
That property I think you're talking about, I know what.
Yeah.
I talked to Chad about that, and he said he's got dirt to fill that thing in, clay, you can haul it in.
So, on the other piece of property that we are looking at, Todd Haven just happened to be outside. And he's the one in charge of that. And classic fashion, there's one person holding that situation up. So Todd knows our wishes and he's get moving. So push comes to shove, there's a home for this. It's just which section, we give you north of the highway or we give you south of the highway? That's the big question. So at the end of the day, every piece of property we've ever looked at has fit the preliminary building that Mike has drawn. And if our wishes to him is we want to start high enough, so when we have to start saving money, we're not getting under what we already truly need. So, but yes, I have nothing but respect for Denny. He's been very good, help with stuff on the fire department, but there has been $0 spent on this yet.
I will make the motion that we sign it.
I'll second.
Yeah, just one question, section 2.2. I mean, as far as the fire side, I guess at the start it says that this is gonna be a police building. A police section in this building. So Ryan can sign off on all the fire, great, but I guess I'd like to have my name in there on the
Yeah.
police side of things.
To clarify a little better, these are preliminary drawings.
Right.
There is nothing, this is just so we knew what we were even shopping for property. So the whole planning and design, that's all to come. I mean, we gave him rough ideas, what we thought we'd need for room, and that's where we are. But yes, like Nate says, his section of the building, I will not, that's his baby. Same with the ambulance. They will sign off on their portion. And fire will sign off on, this is not a Ryan decision, that's why all of these people are here. To show that this is a group decision, you guys only have seen me at a lot of these meetings. This is a whole group. So that's agreeing to that still.
And honestly, I was the one who had a former employee who was not here listed previously, so I was the one who suggested putting in at least one other name, but, so that came
Right,
from my end.
yeah, and it's not that, it's more,
It was
and
just-
I'm looking
it
at
was
it more
just
as
Kelly
an
on the city,
oversight or,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
so we could have left it as just Kelly, if he would like, I'm sure he would be willing to modify that too, but.
I don't care. What if we want to make it as a general city person? It doesn't matter to me. To
It
me,
doesn't hurt to have more than one person.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
we're not guaranteed tomorrow, so.
That's right.
I just, like I said, our goal is to start moving forward.
Okay, does anyone else have any other discussion related to that? Or to any topic?
So, when you add Nate's name to it, or?
Whatever you guys, like I just said, he's gave approve his section, the ambulances gave approve their section, we're gave approve our section. If that specific language needs fixed, then let's just make the motion with the amendment that that language is fixed.
Yeah, I guess part of mine is just so if they have a question about the police side of things, they know who they need to talk to about that.
My advice
Heads
would
of all
be yes, add his as the main contact. Same with the ambulance, so.
Put Lori on it.
So we're to the heads of all the.
I think that, I agree with that. I think that's what we need to be on. Have Kelly on already with you, but I think Nate and Ambulance should be on.
I'll make my motion to do that
Include
with those,
those.
include the
Yep,
changes.
I'll second that.
Oh, sounds good.
Okay, so I have a motion, let's see, in a second by Jean, to approve the signing of the contract with RML Architect, including the delineation of department heads to include Nate and Lori for ambulance and police as well, as Ryan listed. Do we have any other discussion?
Is does Tisha Gay take care of that, or?
Mike draws it up, he
Oh,
submits it to her.
Well,
so.
I don't wanna be a middleman, so she's gonna call them, that's fine, if you want me, I
Yep,
just,
I'll send him the language.
perfect. That's all I'm questioning because, yeah, we don't need one more person doing something.
All right, so given that, and in fact, this is a very big decision, let's have a roll call vote so we can record all of our action.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Huntfunk. Jay Jones.
Aye.
Lexi Murphy. Jean Unruh.
Aye.
Okay, heard all ayes, no nays, motion carries, contract to be signed. Is this where we cheer and you guys straighten your hands? Tell him to cheer.
Good job.
Oh, yes, we will be in touch as things move forward.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Can I do my report when we're to this point?
Sure.
So,
Everybody okay with that?
yeah, I guess before I start talking. So to Brenda's question about the siren, yes, that's more or less an outdoor warning siren. We do our best to run our storm routes for that night. To tell you how quick it came upon us, I got the warning, I was up in lake. I looked at the radar on the information because if we would go on storm watch for every single thunderstorm warning, we'd be constantly down there. So I looked at it and went, yeah, this looks like we better go. So as I'm leaving the lake, I'm dictating by voice a message to everybody, let's go out. Literally, by the time I got to Casey's, it was already raining. So 3 minutes had passed. I can't get, I'm human. I'm not Superman, I can only respond as fast as I can respond. We are trying to be as quick as possible. And I don't know how fast that storm was moving, but way faster than our reaction. So,
Looking at the radar afterwards, the time frame, it just kind of popped up right outside of town.
and this is year 2 of having a storm literally at our back door going to warning strength. So, but yeah, we helped the city that night clean stuff up, and then there's about 10 of us and 3 chainsaws Saturday morning, and we spent 2.5 hours going around helping people get stuff cleaned up.
Thank you guys very much for
Very
doing
great
that.
comments about that. so.
City and fire department.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
So yeah, so that's all I had. Any questions, you know how to get hold of me.
Okay.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.
You're gonna let us know if you hear anything from Todd Hatterman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So as soon as I hear something from Todd, you two will be the first to know.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Hi, guys.
See ya.
Thank you for all you do.
I'm wondering about that. Let's talk about that for a second. I turned over on the local channel on TCA. Isn't there supposed to be something that pops up on that though too? Morning or something? Or every once in a while you'll see that. Every once in a while you'll see that on it, it'll go on a TV emergency warning system.
Yeah.
And like you said, though, it popped
used to do
up.
that.
Because I looked on my radar on my phone, it said it was going south.
Does that run across the bottom on the TC?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It
It
wasn't.
takes the whole screen.
Yeah, it takes the whole screen, it
Yeah,
says,
and
yeah.
then
Okay.
goes-
It wasn't on there,
It has
though.
this beep,
Okay,
beep, beep,
okay.
beep on there and comes on, yeah.
But
It
we
did
have
come
no
on.
warning
Oh, okay,
because,
I have Dish, so I didn't
Yeah.
have it.
because I got on my phone and I looked at it and I said, oh, it's thundering down by Marcus, you could hear it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it is.
That was the fastest thing I've ever seen. But I wasn't here at the time.
No.
The other one that was out at the lake when that came through.
My wife was smart, she went to the basement.
I didn't, I had to look out just
I
like Glenn.
was
Well, you
looking for
gotta
it,
got to
I
know
go, where are you
outside.
at? Where are you at?
And by that time and all the sirens were going, I thought,
You dumbass, get down here.
Okay, awesome. That puts us to item Number 9, second reading to amend the ordinance pertaining to animal control, vicious animal duty of restraint and penalties. This is the one from revising what starts on page 155, and it would be ordinance number 30 and then the amendments. And it includes the material that has been discussed on quite a few occasions. It does have 2 pages. The fees are the one on the last page there. Well, it's 3 pages technically, yeah, 2 pages. We did not make revisions to this in the meeting last time. So that is what is presented before you again. And last time it was Jean and Lexi for the first reading, and unanimous with all ayes.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading.
I'll second that.
Okay, second reading, Steve's made the motion. Carol has made the second.
Why don't we just go past to the third and just get it done?
Oh, and then just wait for third.
Wait the third, because nobody said anything, called you or reported anything on it? No.
So add that to the motion
If
That's
Steve
up
wants to.
Steve, yeah, that's up to
Steve wants to.
Yeah, I'd like to leave it,
as
I prefer to give people ample time to
These just came out in the
speak
paper and
up
stuff.
if they'd like to.
Okay.
Yep.
I can always
I'll
come
agree
in
with that.
here and check things
I'll
out.
second that, with that we do this third reading on it.
Okay,
Just
so right now
in
it's
case.
just the second
Well,
reading to approve the second reading.
Yeah, that's all.
Steve.
they-
Okay.
All right.
Just the second reading, okay.
Nate, did you have any questions about it,
No.
since you weren't here at last meeting? Okay.
Okay. All right, if there's no other discussion, we'll call for roll call vote.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Hunkell. Aye. Jay Jones.
Aye.
Lexi Murphy. Jean Enra.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Second reading is recorded. Okay, our next one is animal control of chickens, which is ordinance number 31, which comes from page 165 in the book. It is an addition after the cats at large part, I believe is where we now put that in. Again, we did make a modification of this to contain no more than 1 cubic foot of manure shall be stored on the owner's property. That was the revision. So that is how your first reading was recorded.
And then only 5 chickens, okay?
It still had 5.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still, yeah, that was only, yeah, didn't change that. Everything else was the same. Oh, and tractive land, her typo was found. So those were the only 2.
Did you have any?
And we had Steve and Jean and all ayes for roll call last time. Oh, and then we made the resolution, yes, see what. So I need, if anyone is willing to introduce this as a second reading or a second with waiving the third and making it published.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading to amend the ordinance pertaining to animal control, adding to allow 5 chickens and to waive the third reading.
I will second that.
Okay, we've got a motion by Carol and a motion by Jean and a second by Carol to consider ordinance number 31 regarding chickens in the city limits as a second reading and waiving the third reading, which would make this the complete reading with the correction as we stated previously that all stored manure must be covered by fully, oh, not that one, sorry, no more than 1 cubic foot of manure shall be stored on the owner's property and tract of land for the only corrections. Do we have further discussion before calling for the vote? Okay, roll call vote then.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
Aye.
Jay Jones.
Aye.
Lexi Murphy.
Aye.
Jean Enra.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays. Second and third reading, ordinance number 31 is to be published. Okay, over to ordinance 32. We've recorded the third reading, or the first reading, sorry, it was on page 152 in the ordinance book regarding our weeds. And last time it was motioned by Jean and second by Lexi. There were no corrections and it was all ayes. Does anyone want to introduce the second and or third reading?
Any complaints or anything?
You haven't heard anything?
No.
I move that we approve the second reading to amend the ordinance pertaining to destruction of weeds, set an 8-inch limit, and waive the third.
I'll second.
Okay, Motion by Jay, second by Lexi to consider this the second and waive the second reading and waive the final reading for ordinance number 32, amending the destruction, pertaining the destruction of weeds, setting the limit to 8 inches on average. Do we have any other discussion?
Yeah, I had some concerns about this overlapping with the lawn ordinance. So 8-inch weeds, and then in the ordinance it says dense growth. So, I mean, I'd like to do some, I would like to do some more research on that and look at that a little closer. If we waive the third, then there's no chance to do that.
What's the?
What's your
Weeds are gonna
concern?
wanna change.
If it's over 8 inches, it's,
So do
you
you
gotta
guys go
vote.
out, do you guys go out and cut, or
Weeds are
will you
undergrowth.
only do it on the 15th when you're supposed to go mow?
Right now, we're only allowed to do the 15th. If it's
That's what
over,
changes. This would then change the, it doesn't have a date on it, it has a growth level, which is what you previously,
You said you had to do what?
it's, previously it had the 15th of the month for those
Oh, the
few
15,
months.
okay, I thought you were talking about 15 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, and
There are
so
some of those.
if I would have had more time previous to the meeting, I would have done some more research, but I didn't have time to do that, and that's my fault. But there's some wording in the ordinance about dense growth, and I just was concerned about that overlapping and conflicting with it, and like I said, I have,
what's the difference between dense growth and 8-inch
well, that's what I'd like to.
Let that be a weed, because grass doesn't
The
grow to
cutting,
8
it's the
inches.
same words except for it goes up, must be destroyed. There's now a line, it used to say must be destroyed on or before the 15th of the certain months. And now it says, the first one, shall not be allowed to grow to a height 8 or 10 inches. 8 inches.
That's
unless
weeds
it's-
and grass, or just
It's,
weeds?
as it says in the beginning, weeds or other growth, and that's weeds, grasses, or other growth.
I just have mine, I don't have my card.
That's the vote. It's-
Yeah, so,
And
Oh, you agree.
Steve,
It's the same language that was in there.
back on June 7th of 2021, there was a mowing ordinance that was, the current mowing ordinance was reviewed, and Fritz will review the ordinance with the city attorney. Then the following, on June 21st minutes, Fritz will revise the current mowing ordinance so the properties get mowed in a timely manner and adjust the height from 12 inches to 8 inches. And that was never followed through on.
So this is just continuing that,
Yes,
same
and
as
that's
the
what they're
chickens.
redoing it, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Never got done.
Never
I mean, never got
actually-
finished, I guess, is what I want to say.
So then we'll take like the month, the 15th out, and then you can go post and, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
just
think that's
And,
everything.
and the
Whenever
previous
gets-
one
whenever
only
gets that high.
specified certain months.
Uh-huh.
This doesn't specify any months, so,
Okay.
because obviously, we don't know when it's gonna snow and when it's not. And you
Yep.
might start earlier in the season, you might start later in the
Right,
fall,
okay.
whatever. So it is just a height requirement.
At this point, yeah.
that I didn't know. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
knew we had addressed it, so I found it.
I have a motion by Jay and a second by Lexi to consider this the second and third readings of ordinance number 32 pertaining to the destruction of weeds to set an 8-inch limit for weeds, grasses, or other growth. If there's no other discussion, we will have Michelle call for a roll call. Vote.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Longcomp,
Aye.
Jay Jones,
Aye.
Lexi Murphy, Jean Unruh.
Aye.
That's all ayes, no one nays. That is the final version and to be published ordinance number 32. On different days, Kelly. All right, this was down to this. All right, the peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants is item 12. It's also the second reading of that. And again, those, the corrections were to remove item 1 and 3 from that. It's disappeared. But item 1 and 3 asked for their driver's licenses. And Ryan weighed in and said he did not believe that would be necessary. Is that a fair assessment on how that went down? Sorry, it's okay. So yes, we removed. Somebody over there standing. It was 1 and 3, correct? At the bottom of the page and onto the back of that last page.
One and three on the back, or what? Sorry. Of the peddler's report?
If you're looking for the one with peddlers and solicitors,
Yes, her version of.
yeah, I'm trying to find it. And then
Minutes.
Oh, here we go. This one,
Yeah.
that one.
Striking, where to go? By removing 4.041 and 4.043, all ayes,
Yeah.
motion carried. That's what we
Yeah.
did previously on ordinance 33. No other changes to remove those two.
It would be on the back of the
It's of the what?
Yeah, on the back of that.
ordinance, just a little bit.
Yeah, one more page over. It was in the very back at the end, asking for their proof of it.
I'll make the motion to approve the second reading of the peddlers and solicitors, and wait.
I'll second that.
Okay, let's make a motion to consider this a second reading and to waive the third. And Jay, let's see, with a second?
Yes.
To support that decision. Do we have any other discussion? Okay, so the motion's been made by Lexi and seconded by Jay to consider this the second and third final reading of the ordinance pertaining to peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants with the deletion of 4.01, 4.041 and 4.043. There, okay.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Carol Longcom,
Aye.
Jay Jones,
Aye.
Lexi Murphy, Gina Neal.
Aye.
Is that all ayes? No nays. 5 ayes, 0 nays. That considers the second and third readings. That ordinance 33 is considered published, to be official. Okay.
So we'll only have one reading left,
Yes,
the very first one.
the dog one.
Yep.
They won't have okay, I'll let Kelly, you want to talk about the thing? On your report card, when you get there. Other than, yes, sorry for all the confusion on the meeting, wasn't really intended, just trying to save you from another moment to get together and make more things happen. So this is relatively quick and painless, and hopefully that is a good sign.
Do you guys have more questions for me?
We do not, you
I'd
can
like to go back to
Yes,
volleyball.
Mike, there were no other questions, yes. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Tricia.
fitting us in. Okay. So yes, I have nowhere else other than thank you to all who survived the storm and helped out with that. Okay, and Tisha's out, that's you, Kelly. Up next.
NIPCO has gotten hold of us, they plan on putting a new switch about 3.5 miles or whatever it is, 4.5 miles where we tie in. We are to pay 2/3 of the cost, which is roughly $75,000 or $80,000. And it does not have to be paid till 2025, but they're just kind of wanting to get it on our radar and whatnot.
When are they putting it in?
There's no set date yet or nothing,
Okay.
but.
And our cost,
What is it for? They're
It's-
gonna,
It's this, there's a line that goes north and south, and where our line that comes to Paullina is tied, there's a switch there. And they're gonna update that, or put a new switch in there,
and our cost will be 75 to 80,000 approximately.
approximately, yeah.
But we don't have to pay as far as you know until 25.
He said, yeah, we
It's
don't
right in
have to
the
pay till
contract.
2025, so.
Okay, you got a contract on it.
Yep.
Contract agreement. So this will have to be presented, and so does the MRES one. I don't know if she mentioned that to you.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, so she'll get that. On our next agenda will be a contract. MRES has needing her to sign, so she has that
It's the
signed.
WAPA contract.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
One's NIPCO, one's WAPA.
And yeah,
So-
this is just getting brought up so it can be
Yeah, this is
decided on next meeting and you guys can look over the,
Maybe this.
but it's, yeah.
Do we do that MRES one every year? Or is it just every so often? I don't remember either. I don't remember doing it lately, so it's been a while, I think. Maybe they'll say that on our contract too, the years.
Yeah, she did approve
So
that.
it's,
Said it needs to
I
be.
want to ask Kelly a question. So what's going on with the switchgear thing? Are they
It's still in,
still in progress?
yeah.
Okay.
It's still moving along.
And how about the bond? Is Beck, I see we had a charge from Beck on that last
Right.
minutes. Was that for that? Or they?
Yep.
Okay.
And a DNR thing. I did get clarification for you on that.
And we got one pump ordered and the other, our 2 pumps ordered?
Yep.
And one's on back order?
Yep.
And can you put those in as soon as you get them in? Or are you able or do they come?
They'll put them in and they'll train us on them and everything, so
Okay.
they're a little different than what we have, so they're quite a bit different, so.
Oh, sorry, here's your remote.
Oh, that's okay.
That's, it's got a front and back
Oh,
of
okay.
it's spelled out of those 2 invoices since
Oh,
you
it's
inquired
true.
about them, and yes, he did have, Kelly called and got the guy's information of what it was, updating plans, coordinating DNR permits, filed with DNR from April 3rd to August 2nd. Just get that, guys.
And did you work with MRES? Again, do they come weekly or what?
Monthly.
Monthly, okay, because I know you said you missed when you were gone.
Yep.
And then,
Yep, we did a pole change out.
oh, was that one by Brenda?
Yep.
I see you guys working down
The
there.
pole change out and we're getting, we still got some secondary to get
Taking care of.
taken care of, but then all those poles in that alley will be gone, so.
And the taking down of the trees, that'll start what, in the fall?
Have you heard from him again?
Last time I talked to him, he said it'd either be the beginning of August or the beginning of September, so
I'm guessing September.
I'm guessing September.
At least.
Okay,
I'll give him a call
yeah,
tomorrow and
Be
just
close.
touch base with him.
okay.
Yeah, if you can give us a date so we can communicate that to people.
Yeah, put it out there on the website or wherever.
Alright.
So have you had anybody complain about not having a pre-down or anything?
Are you-
Well, with your, I mean, I know you got all your little pink circles, but they're all, nobody's,
Have you tagged them all?
Yeah.
Okay.
everybody's tagged.
Yep.
Do you guys have to take down that one of Ron Schutnick's, or is that his?
We'll take that down. It's on the parking, so. Yeah, it's kind of been a slow process after that storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go to one house and you have 2 truckloads of branches to haul off, so it's,
And did you get rid of ash trees by the storm?
no.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. They were tough.
Maybe, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, they're.
I want that one back of Reedemann's.
Oh, I know.
I hated to see that
Yeah.
It's one of the prettiest
Couldn't believe
trees.
it.
Yeah, that one just got uprooted.
Yeah, I figured it had to, but lucky it missed their house, I mean, or roof or anything.
Yep.
Such a beautiful tree.
So the other thing, the thing that I was gonna add to the meeting, I had some people ask me if there is any way, I know Spencer does it, I think Orange City does it, or Alton, they have a recycling thing for glass that gets picked up, and then I guess the music boosters, I was maybe told are thinking about moving their stand. So I didn't know if that would be a good place to put something like that there for glass, since you can't recyclable glass, but there's people out there that
You,
have glass.
they don't recycle glass.
No,
It's not worth it. Nobody will pick it
and
up.
there's too
Well,
many cuts.
the Reformed Church does.
Yeah.
and-
When
I don't know how to get rid of it.
when I did the can cage, we had
Yeah,
beer
we
bottles in there and I did it for 4 years.
There's this company called like the Purple something, I don't know, Spencer has it in their Walmart parking lot, and I think Orange
Yeah.
City is just starting to maybe do it.
But
So
they're doing it on their own because the guy that takes it from Sheldon, they do not take
No,
glass.
they don't take glass.
I'm still trying to
Recyclable,
get some.
recyclers don't
Okay,
take
that
glass.
was
Yeah.
brought to one of my, I said I would bring it up and see if there's
Yeah.
something out there that we can
Too
do.
many injuries is what it was way back when.
Actually, I saw a story the other day that plastic's going out too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They're just taking it and they're shipping it overseas and dumping it in the oceans.
And then also, nothing against Carol and Jean, but when it comes to like committees, they're on every committee, which obviously that's not their fault. But I feel like that is not fair to me, or Steve.
I'm all right with it.
Oh, you may be all right, but.
I'm not complaining.
Right, I mean, I didn't, obviously, but I guess, I mean, if it needs, I feel like it should be equal on committees and not always go to Jean, Carol, Polly.
I think part of it is because we're not working, well, she works, I don't.
Not much
But-
anymore.
I'll give you a couple lines.
That's just
I
my
just-
expression of it, or my opinion, I guess, my council comment, so that was it, so.
Okay.
All right, Nate, sorry, skipped over him. All right, we have anything else?
I think that we need to talk to CDCA about, I know it was a quick pop-up storm, but something needs to be, because like Glenda said, there used to be a thing to come on the screen, and there was nothing. I turned on our local weather channel.
Probably wondered,
Yeah.
whoever's supposed to do
It
that
came-
order couldn't have happened.
I was
fast.
watching a movie, Jay,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden the movie went away and the loud beeps, you know,
Oh,
came.
it did come on your...
Yes,
comes on all
it
stations.
interrupted the
Oh, it
program
it
that I was
wasn't on, it wasn't on
watching.
our local weather channel. I know
No,
that.
I was not. It
Yeah.
interrupted it right in the middle of a movie that I was watching, is how it came on, TCA.
Gee, no, well, good it came on, because
Yeah.
it wasn't on the local weather channel, I know
No,
that.
it did not.
'Cause I flipped
Got
that on right
nothing
away.
that.
Well,
There was
it
nothing.
came across my phone that there was a severe
I
thunderstorm
didn't
warning
get
for
that either.
Bryan County. I looked at the radar, there's nothing there. So by the time they got it out, we were probably done with the storm.
Yeah,
A
because it
friend of mine
went
was
through
working
really
at
fast.
Marcus Fair, and I called him, and he said they got 2 drops,
I was gone.
and that's where I heard the thunder from.
I got the notice on my phone.
It came on
like,
TCA at the same time that the sirens were going off down.
Okay.
See, I can hear the sirens where I live,
Yeah.
but I understand, you know, the further away you are, it's harder. And when the wind was blowing so hard, I
The
understood that.
wind blows again, yeah.
Well, I'll make the motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn and a second. Motion by Lexi or Steve?
Lexi.
Motion by Lexi, second by Steve to adjourn tonight's meeting. Do we have any other reasons to not adjourn? Always all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. Meeting adjourned 6:37 PM. 6:37 PM.
Thanks for that knowledge.
Yep.